So my topic for the cybersecurity project is SQL injection. And SQL injection is a problem that really shouldn't be around anymore since it's so easy to sanitize your inputs and avoid people getting into your tables in your database. Yet rookie coders and people that are using poor code are vulnerable to these types of attacks since hackers can just type in some simple queries and get access to all of the data in your database. And so SQL is a language that's used for talking to your databases. And so here we have a login for a site called Trade Portal. So let's say we had a hypothetical user and password, just like whatever. You good? All right. Now obviously that's an invalid username or password. But in SQL, the single apostrophe is an operator that is very special as it can end the block. And so if we look at the code, it will look something like this. So what the code does, it checks to see if email is equal to email, the variable email, and password is equal to password. But you see in here the email, you see that the email is bounded by these single quotation marks, and if you put a quotation mark here, that ends up putting 3 quotation marks, and that ends up giving you an error. And so let's say we do user again, and instead of doing a random password, we'll put in the single apostrophe. And so that's what happens. It gives you an internal server error because you messed up the syntax and the code won't compile. Now, what we can do here is, remember how we said what this does is email is equal to whatever value we give here. And so we can either say if email is equal to nothing. Okay, so there were some technical difficulties because there was a lot of noise, but moving on. So what I was saying is that in the code, what it does is that it checks to see if the email variable in the code is equal to the email that we input here is equal to input. But if the input we give is a single quotation mark, that ends this. So if email is equal to nothing, but what's special here is that now we can input our own code. So we can say if email is equal to nothing, or 1 is equal to 1. And so that, as you can see, is true. So now you've changed the statement to be if email is equal to the proper email, or 1 is equal to 1, which evaluates to true in every single case. And so say we do user again, and this time we do what we did before, or 1 equals to 1. So we can take this and put that into the password. So if password is true, or 1 equals 1. So the password obviously is not true, but the second part is true, and since it's an OR statement, this will always evaluate to true. So if I put this in here, it logs us in to this person's stocks account, and you can see how his stocks are changing. We'll see some stocks in Apple and Google and GM, and here are his contacts, his activity. And so this is the admins, the owner of the site's dashboard. And so using this exploit, we can see all the stuff on their site, which could have been avoided if they were more careful in sanitizing their inputs, so you don't end up with people being able to maliciously hack their way into your database.